Hi guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. Now the point of today's video is to talk about trade management. Trade management was my worst enemy in 2025. There's one mistake that we're going to go through later on in the video, which will help you understand exactly what was the turning point, the pivotal point, like we like to say in trading. What was the pivot point for me to sort of move from being a bad manager in trading to a good manager of my positions in trading? For the past 2, 3 months, I've been working relentlessly on this aspect of my trading. I've realized that it was something that I was definitely missing. And like Jesse Livermore says, the biggest money is made in sitting, not in buying right or selling right, but actually in sitting tight, right? That's where you're going to make a major chunk of your money. For example, Cochin Shipyard in 2024 moved up around 230 odd percent over a matter of 66 trading sessions. Of course, you're not going to be able to capture the entire gain, but how do we maximize the return on our portfolio? And how do we do that on a big size? That is what I have worked on today. I have everything written down. And the reason that I'm doing this, like I said, is because of one trade that shifted everything for me. One trade that made me realize without actual trade management tools, all that I will do is to depend on my emotions. And the problem with that is that during market hours, if you have emotions, you're going to be rationalizing, and you do not want to do that with the markets. Okay, let's get started. If you catch me looking downwards, it's because I have notes. Again, a lot of the videos that I'm going to be making is for my future self and to put out on a public forum, 10 years from now, exactly what I was doing 10 years ago. But if I'm watching this 2 years down the line, then I hope that by then I have been able to absolutely nail trade management, and I'm sure that I will because of all of the rules that are in front of me right now. So let's get into it. We're going to start with the trade that actually changed everything for me, and that was gold and silver. So recently, gold and silver, as we all know, have made a big move, right? We saw gold from this beautiful pivot right here. If I can just replay this chart. So from this beautiful pivot over here, we saw gold move what? Around, let's just look at this. Okay. Yeah, big move. Okay. So from this beautiful pivot in gold, which was this one, I think 11 December. Yeah. We saw gold move 40%. Absolutely not normal for gold to do this. Another commodity that did something similar, in fact, something even crazier, is silver. From that beautiful pivot point, silver is up 130%. Now, if I actually remove my actual trading journal, this is my trading journal. The artwork's done by someone special. But in this trading journal, I can pinpoint the date and I will read it out for you guys. This is 9th of December, where I had my entry. Yes, 9th of December. So I'm going to open 9th of December and we're going to see exactly what happened so that we understand what was going on in my mind. I had a 30% position size in silver. Yes, 30% of my portfolio was in silver because of the way that this flag was forming and because commodities were just absolutely killing it in the markets. Just if I held this with the 10 day, simply with the 10 day, absolutely no problems. And let's say I got out somewhere, let's just say here, 100%, let's say, my portfolio would have been up by 30% just by holding with the 10 day. That is what Jesse Livermore means when he says that the real money is made in sitting. It's not made in your entries and your exits. It's made in the sitting phase. Can you sit like a monk? Can you meditate during these phases where your PNL is just absolutely going off the roof, right? A 30% position size is a big size, guys. Similarly, in gold, over here in this entry, I had a 40% position size. But what happened in both of these trades that has prompted me to make this video? On the 11th of December, I took my entry in gold. I exited on the 12th. Why? I had absolutely no trade management. What about silver? I made my entry on the 9th of December and I exited on the 10th. Why? No trade management and absolutely no control over noise. These were the two reasons that I missed out on what could have potentially been a 50% impact in two trades. 50% on my portfolio in two trades is what I missed. And I know that that is a tuition that I paid to the markets. Why? Because for everything that's to come, I'm 21, for everything that's to come over the next 60, 70 years of my life, that tuition was had to be paid to the markets so that I could get in this small, stupid brain of mine that, brother, if you don't know how to manage your trades, nothing is going to work. That's why today we're going to discuss trade management rules for the next bull market, and we're going to go through some examples. Let's start with silver. Why not? Actually, first, what I want to do is I want to write down all of the rules that I have written down. Okay, so let's start by understanding the types of moves. Okay, in a bull, in any market, you're going to have two types of moves majorly. Your first move is going to be a linear move, and your second type of move is going to be a parabolic move. Now, your linear move is the type of move that you see where the stock or the commodity is smoothly moving alongside the moving averages. You're not feeling that, oh my God, what's happening? That feeling is not there because you can see very clearly that it's a nice gradual move upwards. Now, the second type of move is the parabolic move, and this is where the angle of the rise becomes steep, super steep. You're getting closer to 90 degrees rather than getting closer to this 0 degree mark. Right? Of course, you don't want to be 0 degrees when you're going upwards, but you're getting closer to the 90 degrees, not staying at 30, 20, 45. You're getting steeper and you're moving upwards quicker. That started happening in silver here. Now, another thing with the parabolic move is you start extending from the moving averages. Okay, these are the types of moves. Now, what are the rules for trading? Simple, very very simple trade management rules. One thing that I really have sort of understood by looking at some very very good traders around me is that the people with rules often outperform over the longer period of time compared to the people without rules. See, in a bull market, everyone's going to make money. But the question is how much in a bull market, how much in a bear market, and how much do you lose on the downside? And it's always the people with rules with a nice, sane mind who always really outperform and do a lot better. Okay, now, what are the rules? Very simple. For a linear move, these are the rules that I am going to follow for the next bull market. Book 1/3 at 20 to 30% gains. This is called selling into strength. Next, ride the remaining with the 10-day moving average. And this will be for a majority of the remaining position. Now, a note in this, the first close below the 10-day and the low of that is going to be the stop loss, the trailing stop loss. It's not when you cut below the 10-day, it's the first close below the 10-day for the bull market. The next, if conviction is there, can also ride with 20-day moving average. And this will be personally for a minor size, maybe just 25, 20% of the original size that I have. Let's move this up. Okay. I'm so excited to look back at this video in 2 years and see myself actually executing all of these rules that we're laying out, having those crazy triple digit years, multi triple digit years, and then looking back and being like, you know what, bro, you did well. Anyway, not getting too far ahead. For exponential, the rules are you book 1/3 at 20 to 30% gains. Two, ride with 5 moving average or sell into strength. Now, this is where experience comes into hand. selling into strength or exponential moves or parabolic moves, right? It's tough to see. Firstly, you're never going to catch the maximum gain in any stock or in any commodity. So that has to be drilled into the mind. But secondly, for any parabolic move, it is very tough to, you know, get the perfect exit because riding with the 5 day moving average is not easy. It's a very urgent moving average, right? It's called the urgency moving average for a reason that it is super, super quick in its movements up and down. So booking into strength is very, very important for a parabolic move. And when we get to the notes side of whatever I've written over here, we will talk about that as well. But anyway, ride with the 5 moving average or sell into strength. And again, this will be for a majority of the position. And when I ride with the 5, and if I'm having, 80% in 5 days, I'm not going to wait for a close. I'm just going to exit as soon as I can. And if there is conviction, right? Same, if conviction is there, can also ride with 10-day moving average. Again, very minor size. That is only if the conviction is there. Okay. Now, what is the goal? The goal for a linear move is to simply hold your line. What's your line? Your line is your position. I'm reading a lot of Jesse Livermore, so I'm getting that vocabulary. So hold your line for as long as possible. Rather, I would say for a- hold your line as long as the stock is displaying what we like to call normal action. What is normal action? Your stock is going up. It's not giving back more than 50% of the up move. It is staying with the moving averages. It's not making outside days. It's not being super volatile. It's showing normal action. Okay. Hold your line as long as the stock is displaying normal action. That's the goal for a linear move. And a goal for a parabolic move, maximize as much of the gain as possible by selling into strength. These are the two main goals that we have for the linear and the parabolic moves. Okay. Simple, super simple, right? Now, let's talk about some notes. And I'm like, this is literally what I've written down right here in front of me. Everything I've written down, and I've decided that I want this to be on a public platform so I can hold myself accountable to it, and also I can share a lot of knowledge with you guys. But here are the notes that we're going to have for trade management. Firstly, a big outside day is a profit bookings signal. Whether this is two-thirds of the position, half of the position, or the complete, that's completely up to the trader. Ride winners for as long as possible in the starting stages of the bull market. Okay. Parabolic moves become more frequent, right? They will become more frequent, sorry for this, towards the end of the bull market. And I will show you this with one stock, RVNL, the biggest mover that we've seen. I think of the 2023-2024 bull market, it was definitely the leader alongside Cochin Shipyard, Mazgaon Dock, IRFC, IREDA. It was defense and railway. These were the two themes that were really, doing very well in that bull market. Those are the two sectors. And we also have, yeah, when buying, you won't know what type of move is to come. This is a very important point. when you actually enter your position, it's always easy to look in hindsight and say, this is what I would have done, right? But when you're entering that position for the first time, you will not know what kind of move is to come. So, booking your first partial is important. That's why our first rule is the same in both, where we book one third at 20 or 30% gains. It's always important to pay yourself for being right. Always pay yourself for being right. Personally, I'm going to be sizing big, keeping my risk on equity in check, avoiding my P&L, and focusing on what matters, which is the charts. I'm also going to be using GTT and SL orders to avoid emotions during my execution. And lastly, always keep the objective of being a swing trader in your mind. Our goal is simple. Quick turnover plus big size equals big impact on portfolio. This, ladies and gentlemen, right here, this is exactly what I am going to be following for the next bull market in terms of how to make sure that every time I enter a position, how can I maximize the gains that I can get out of it? This right here is exactly how I will do it. That's a lot of information to take in, but it is very important because I feel like trade management personally was one of my weakest points and it has been resolved. But it's very, very important to also understand that these are the rules. Following these rules are in the hand of the trader. Simple. The trader will decide whether they want to follow the rules or not. Additionally, every single time it's going to be difficult to execute picture perfect according to this. So, also getting the experience into hand is very important, right? That is the way that I'm looking at the markets. For example, I've said that I will look to book one third at a 20 to 30% gain. Now, if the average breakout, like right now, or like in the, in the small mini rallies that we were getting in this bear market, if the average breakout is only 10-15%, I'm not going to wait for 20-30 to book one third. I'm rather going to book a big amount, like half of my position at 10% gains, with the sole purpose to ensure that I am taking in what I have earned. That is the idea, and that is where experience will come into action. Okay, now that this has been put, I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, now let's talk about a few examples. Firstly, I will tell you 4 linear movers. First, let's start with BSC was one of them. BSC was a linear mover right here in 2023. I'm just listing them so that on your own time, you guys can, go ahead and mark your, you can go ahead and mark exactly the entries and exits that you all would like to take. The next example is Inox. So let's pull up Inox Wind in 2023, another linear mover. Was it 2023? Yeah. From here, you can see big move up, linear move. And another one is NASDAQ, a big linear move again in 2023. Okay. Now, for the parabolic moves, we have RVNL of 2024, which is right here. You can see a big parabolic move. There's IREDA, which was multiple times here, parabolic and parabolic. Then there's IRFC, another stock which went parabolic. And there was NetWeb as well in 2023. Where is it? Only towards the end over here. Sorry. Yeah. This is linear till here. And then towards the end, this becomes a bit more parabolic. But that's only towards the end, I would say. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pick one stock, which is going to be BSE. I'm going to take a quick run through of exactly going back in time and seeing how I would approach the entries and exits in BSC, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these and let's see how we will approach it. Okay, what do we see right here in BSC? A big base, right? And from there, the stock has moved up around 36%, came down to the 10 days. Super nice. It's making a lovely sort of downward pivot right here. So my entry in BSC would be off of these highs. Okay, let's see. Will the entry get triggered or not? Okay, I am in BSC right now. I've taken a long as of in 2023. And let's put a price marker as well to see how the trade is going. Okay. All right. Another day of up move, nothing doing, nothing doing. Another day up, no problems, no problems. Okay. Let's see how much the gain was. 16%. Nothing to do as per the rules. Nothing to do as at all. And this is the bull market. So again, we're going to follow bull market rules here. Okay. Trailing with the 10. No problems, no problems. How much are we at? 22%. Entered into the profit booking range. Now, this is where experience comes into hand. Personally, I would wait for at least 25-30%. 10 days very close by. Worst case, I will exit at 10 days break. So, no problems. Okay, no problems here. Okay, now this is the first close below the 10. So the stop loss for a major, for basically all of my position would be here and I would still get out at 10% gains. Not hit, not hit, and we've reclaimed. Now I'm looking for a re-entry. I'm excited to see whether I will get a re-entry off of these levels or potentially these ones higher. So I'm on the radar for a re-entry. Okay, I can take a re-entry on this day. So let's add a re-entry here. First, let me see how much the stop loss is. Okay, 3.7%. And the ADR is 3%. No problem. We'll look to take a re-entry here. I would prefer an inside day. But again, like I'm doing this in real time, so I have no idea what's to come ahead. Still no issues at all. And let's again, sorry, I didn't mean re-entry, I meant another size. My bad. I just realized. Okay. No problem. Still with the 10. Still with the 10. Still with the 10. If there's extra cash, this is picture perfect now. Super, super tight. No issues at all. Let's see. Big breakout. Now, what's up with my initial position? 30%. So what do? I book a partial from my initial position, my first 1/3. Okay, cool. Now, just to make it easy, I'm going to get rid of this one, but let's count this as one position only. Okay, another move up. Now, for my position that I made here, no, where was that? Here, sorry, on this day. No, sorry, here, my bad, my bad. On this day, I'm still holding, no problems. And my next position is 20%, but big volumes, so I'm not looking to book right now. Okay, now where are we? Another 25%. So I think I will look to book 1/3 of my gain here. Absolutely no problems. Now I'm riding with the 10 day. 10 day, 10 day. Yep, still good. Still good. Notice how this has now started to become parabolic. This has started to become parabolic. This is up 60%. This position is up 90%. I'm looking to book another partial right over here. It would be of a decent size. I would look to book another partial and then continue riding with the 10 day. Okay, breakdown. I do not, trust me, I do not remember the chart. I'm just doing this as it's coming. Okay, now I'm trailing with the 10. Still trailing with the 10. No problems. It's small outside day, not very big. Still trailing with the 10. Still with the 10. Okay, now you've closed below the 10. The new stop loss for a major position has moved or below this low. Perfect. My low breached for one of 392, 390. Okay. I would have booked a decent size over here and then trailed with the 20 because it's a big mover and it's a linear mover. Okay. No problems. No problems. Now looking again for a re-entry potentially. I need an inside day though. Really excited for a re-entry. I would have taken a re-entry on this day if I'm trading in live in real time with these with this as my entry levels. Actually, what would my stop loss be? That's more important. Oh, 5% stop loss. So honestly, I probably would not have taken a re-entry, but waited for another inside day to give me a smaller stop loss. And that comes. There we go. We're in the business. If we get an entry, then I will be taking it. Oh, not yet. Okay, interesting. But now it's super tight. Oh, outside day. And that's why we don't enter prematurely. There you go. Very, very simple. I thought a breakout would come. That's why I just put that for the next day. It didn't come, but then we get an outside day. Still holding my position. And now again, looking for a re-entry if it comes. And it comes. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. Now I'm just going to trail with the 10. Also put in another price marker here. So, okay, let's get it clear. We sold a major chunk for this position over here and a major chunk for this position, let's say around here. So 50% on each, and we would have made more than that only. Now we're trailing with the 10 simply. Again, it's come back to the 10, so I'm looking to add more if we get a breakout now. Okay, I'm looking to add more. Okay, nice. Nice. Okay, now you see how it's starting to get volatile. This is a sign, but still with the 10, so I'm not worried. But it's starting to get volatile. It's a sign that you're getting towards the end and you're getting big volumes as well. So looking to book as quick as possible here. And here is where the 5-day starts coming into action a bit better, I think. 26%. So I would look to book here, guys. I'd look to book here. Or maybe on this day, let's. And then just trail with the 10. And I'd close below the 10, I think now. No problems. No problems. No problems at all. Right? Where's the position at? And that's the first partial. Positions of 57%. No issues. Just trailing with the 10, big outside day. I'm out for a major part of my position, a very big part of my position. Oh yeah, even this entry is there. Oh wow. Oh yeah. It's tough to calculate so many entries. And that's our close. So below this, I'm exiting everything. And there we go. Now let's see what happens. I don't know. And there you still see a move upwards, right? If you tail with the 20, but then the stock kind of goes sideways. That is exactly how I will trade BSC and other stocks. Cochin, Inox, NASDAQ, exactly how I would trade it to maximize my gains. Imagine a 30% size with that much return on my portfolio. Uh, I think it'll be insane. At least 15% minimum impact on portfolio. Way more actually, I think. Maybe 2025 as well. That's how I'd be trading. That's my trade management rules for the next bull market. If you've liked this video, please subscribe, comment, share, give it to your friends, let them learn as well. Let everyone grow in the markets. I don't know how long I'll be making these for. Right now, I'm really enjoying them. So they're getting out there. But if you guys want to see something else, let me know. And that's all for today's video. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys in the next one.